name is Bob Lewis. I'm with the Ford Special Vehicle team, and welcome to our Fordstar Broadcast. Just a couple of technical issues before we get started. Today's broadcast will be interactive. If you do have any questions, or if you'd like to be able to answer any questions that we throw out there, we need to make sure that your site controller is logged on to host 35. In addition, I want to make sure that you log on to your keypad, and you can do that by either entering your Social Security number and the Enter key, or just 0000 and enter, and that'll log on the dealership. If you do have any questions, if you have any difficulty logging on, if you have any difficulty getting through to us, you want to contact the Fordstar Help Desk at the number shown, 1-800-790-HELP or 4357. Our objectives this morning, we have a couple. I'd like to provide you with an SVT sales and marketing update, give you the opportunity to talk to somebody from the Mustang team from a technical perspective, and then also provide you with the details of the 1999 SVT program. Do have a couple of guests with us here this morning. Our first guest is Tim Boyd. Tim is the Specialty Vehicles Marketing Manager with Ford Marketing Operations, and I'd like to welcome you, Tim.
Good morning, Bob, and good morning, everyone.
Our second guest is an individual by the name of Dennis Marcus. Dennis is with Mustang Vehicle Engineering, also of Ford. And Dennis, welcome to you too. I know this is something new for you.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here. I'm looking forward.
Okay. From a sales and marketing perspective, I'd like to go through a couple of things. Mustang Cobra sales, SVT Contour sales, and then also bring up to speed on SVT incentives, programs, and any materials that have recently been distributed. With that, I'd like to reintroduce Tim, and I know, Tim, you have a pretty significant announcement that you'd like to make. Over to you.
Well, I do actually have two significant announcements to make. Effective last week, I was assigned to a new position in Ford Motor Company. I will be working at a strategic level with our global auto show strategy. This is a great opportunity for me. It is a promotion for me, so I'm very happy about that. But I got to tell you, SVT has been my life for the last 3.5 years, and it's been more than anything in my 20-year career has been something that I personally have believed in, and I really believe we've made some very good progress. And certainly we could look back at the last 3.5 years and see a lot of goalposts and things that have been accomplished, not the least of which is all-time record SVT sales for the month of April. Any month, any year, all-time record. Congratulations to all of you for that. But I think most importantly, what I feel happiest about is the future for SVT. We have a very, very solid short and long-term product plan in place now. We just had a meeting this last Monday with our SVT stakeholders, which I chaired, which was really sort of the last linchpin in our plan. We're going to have both additional derivatives of products we have right now, but we're also going to have continued improvements in our key products over time, and I'm very, very excited about that. I think, you know, as I think about this, I really want to thank each of you out there, our SVT certified dealers, each of our sales representatives, our dealer managers, our service advisors who've helped really take this program and make it what it could be. And so we look into the future, I know that you'll continue to build it, because really SVT is approaching the stage where it really could become the most important performance legacy in Ford Motors history. And I think that each of you play a key role in that. Certainly I've played a role for the last 3.5 years, and it will always be with me through the rest of my career, whether my title says SVT or not. So I want to thank you all very much for your contributions in that area. My replacement should be named shortly. With that, Bob, let's go into some sales figures.
Okay,
and as I just mentioned a moment ago, I guess for the month of March, which we have not talked to you since February, so March was the best March ever for SVT in total, and exceeded the prior March by a substantial amount. But most importantly for April, April was our best SVT sales month ever in the history of the program. We sold 1,522 units in the month of April, which is a superb job. It exceeded our prior best month, which was May of '94, which was just when the new SN95 Mustang was out, Mustang Cobra, and also when the Indy Pace car had just come out. And we exceeded that record by 44 units. And this is also the 8th record sales month in a row for SVT. Looking at the Cobra specifically, March was the second best March ever for Cobra, and April was the best April ever. And this, I'm sorry, the best April Cobra sales ever, and it was the second best Cobra sales month, any year. Again, the only month that was better was, I believe, May of 1994. For SVT Contour, we've also had a couple of very good months as the new Series 2 model got out there with the new wheels, tires, and suspension and upgrades. March was the best month since October of '97, and SVT Contour returned to its historic high of 6% of SVT Contour sales. And then in the month of April, we sold essentially 400 units, which was our second best month ever, and very close to being our best month ever. So Contour has really come on strong this spring with the new second series package, and we expect it to continue. With that, I'm going to turn it back to Bob for our monthly dealership sales leaders. Bob?
Thanks, Tim, and again, we appreciate all your efforts, and personally, I appreciate you being here today. I know definitely was not in the schedule. Just to give you an idea on a model year-to-date figure, Cobra sales leaders, Galpin Ford in California, Fremont Ford in California, World Ford of Hollywood in Florida, and then we have 4 stores that tied for 4th. Faulkner Ford in New Jersey. I know they called into the info center. I guess they have an event that is planned. They just called in this morning. Maroon Ford, Covert Ford. Many of you watching last time saw Tommy Perez from Covert with us here on the Fordstar broadcast, and then Apple Valley Ford. From a Contour perspective, again, you'll see 5 stores, actually the top 4 places. Varsity Ford in Ann Arbor, far and away the leader in terms of Contour sales. Jack Demer and Village Ford tied for 2nd. Pat Milliken Ford, and then Galpin Ford once again in the 4th place position there. Congratulations, those are model year-to-date figures. To getting those on a monthly basis, it's always interesting to see who's at the top of the pack there. One thing I'd like to do at this point, I do have a question I'd like to throw out. It gives us a chance just to make sure that people can answer back to the questions. We're in the process of working with a vendor, potentially working with a vendor to produce an aftermarket piece that would go on the dashboard, basically a little plaque or badge that could be installed on the dashboard of the vehicle. I'd like to get some feedback from you as to whether or not you think that this is something that could be marketed in the aftermarket by SVT. And before I put that question up there, let me just get this set, and then I'll show you this question. Should SVT sell unique interior badges to the owners of all SVT products? If you would, just answer yes or no to that for me. The idea there is that this would not be something that would be installed in the vehicle at the time of manufacture. We could potentially include a piece in the owner's manual and let them mail it in. There would be a fee for the badge or for the plaque, but let me show you what the results are here. Pretty much overwhelmingly yes. We'll take that as a yes and look forward to meeting with the vendor again tomorrow. Okay. I'd like to walk you through just quickly some of the programs that are out there for SVT products. Before we do that, I think I'm going to take the first call here. This is Keith Frazier from Kaiser Ford. Keith, can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing?
We're doing good. Go ahead, Keith. Well, we seem to have lost him.
Contour and
Okay, Keith, you're apparently breaking up. I'm going to assume the question was, would the badge be for just the Cobra or also Contour and Lightning? If that's what the question was, the answer to that is yes. We would make it available to any owner of an SVT product. Let's try one more call here. This is Gordon Lambert from Leif Johnson Ford. Gordon, can you hear us?
Can you hear me here?
Yes, we can.
Listen, I just want to congratulate Tim on his promotion. I saw y'all down in San Antonio here. I've met you also, and tell Tim and yourself, remember I got an autograph from y'all on an SVT Mustang there in San Antonio. I met Tim there at the elevator. I've got you in our dealership here, so that's real good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've got to be honest with you, Gordon, it was pretty hard to walk away from this job, and I gave it a real second thought before I accepted the new position, but thank you very much.
Thanks, Gordon.
You bet. I'll always remember that at the elevator.
Great. Very good.
Thanks, Gordon.
Y'all take care.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to walk you through some of the programs that are currently available quickly. For those of you that there are only a few 97 Cobras out there. They're both coupe and convertible programs, and 98 SVT Contour. One thing to keep in mind, the program dates differ between the 98 models and the 97 models. That is not a misprint on the screen. If you have a 97 model that you're still looking to sell, any programs applicable to that vehicle in June 2nd and not July 2nd, which is the date for the 98s. For 98 Cobra, currently everything on a national basis is standard rates, both finance and lease, coupe and convertible. There are some differences in terms of residuals. You can see them there, both the convertible and the coupe relative to all 98 Mustangs. For the 97, there is some finance support. There's no lease support at this point, again, on a national basis. Keep in mind that this is applicable to both the coupe and convertible. Again, you can see some significant differences in terms of lease residuals. And the 1,000 and 2,000 dealer cash, the difference being whether or not the customer took the APR rates or not, are now applicable to both the coupe and the convertible. And for the convertible, it is only those units sold after April 3rd. So a minor change to, well, significant change to the program there. I know there's only a couple of convertibles out there, though. For Contour, again, you can see there is some finance support as well as lease support. And also the difference in residuals that you see right there. One other thing, just to make sure you are aware that the SVT Contour is also eligible for the $500 Customer Appreciation Program, also known as the Owner Loyalty Program or the Match GM Owner Loyalty Program, but SVT Contour is eligible for that money. Okay, a couple of other quick things in terms of materials. As you all know, we've distributed a fair amount of material during March, April, and now into May. Going back to that slide for a second, we did distribute SVT Contour brochure inserts, also a reprint of the 10 Best Engines program. A question that I do have for you, we distributed a piece that looks like this, and I'll just show you that. This was actually a sticker that got sent out, was easily installed on the side glass of the Contour. In addition, they could easily be removed. The question that I do have for you is, what was your response to that sticker, and whether or not we should do any additional stickers like that? Let me make that a little bit clearer. The opportunity exists for us to put together quote stickers like that for not just Contour, but Cobra, for Lightning, also for a variety of other things. So if you would, answered that question for me. The window quote sticker is a good merchandising tool, and more or different stickers should be available. If you could go ahead and answer that using your keypad, that'll give us an idea whether or not to go down that path. And you can see it looks like the majority of you felt that it was a pretty good piece. I know when I was traveling over the last couple of weeks, I did see a fair amount of those in the windows of Contours that were in stock. Okay, thank you. Taking a look at April materials, there were a couple of things that were distributed: the Contour comparison, the sweepstakes winner list, also our poster. And if any of you for some reason have not seen this poster, we have one hanging up in the studio here. Actually, I think it looks a lot better in real life. But I do have another question for you, and that's simply, what was your reaction to the poster? What I'd like you to do is answer for us this question. The Mustang Cobra poster is great, okay, or could be better. We know that we shipped out 100 of each of those to every SVT store. We had real good reaction to those posters at an event that we participated in on the West Coast. If you would, go ahead and just answer on your keypad A, B, or C. And again, the question just being what your reaction to the poster was: great, okay, or could have been a lot better. There's what the reaction was. If any of you felt that there's something different that you'd like to see, give myself or one of the folks a call in the info center. We'll be happy to hear about that. We do any number of posters during a year. Our next one will probably be the Lightning as we get that ready. Okay. I do have another question that I'd like you to respond to at this point. Going back to the photo of the poster, at the bottom of the poster, there was a timeline that was included. And what you can see down there is that there were smaller photographs of various historical SVT product. The question that I'd like you to respond to is, future SVT posters should continue to include the timeline at the bottom of the poster, yes or no? We felt that that was a pretty interesting piece to include there. I'd like to get some feedback from yourselves. And again, I'll show you, if you've not seen the poster, down at the bottom there's about maybe not quite a dozen photos of older SVT product. Looks like the reaction was pretty good to that. We'll continue to do that. And as I mentioned, I think our next poster will be an SVT Lightning poster. Probably see that towards as we get closer to the launch of that vehicle. Last thing, from a materials perspective, the SVT newsletter has been distributed to dealerships, including owners directly. If you're not aware of that, we do ship that to all of the known SVT vehicle owners directly to their homes. It includes an apparel and accessory insert. The dealerships will be sent those in bulk. And then this month we also have the 1999 SVT program mailing being distributed as well. Okay, moving on, one last thing from a sales and marketing update perspective. We participate in retail marketing events during the course of the year. We did participate in a few this past April, an event in Dallas, Fabulous Fords Forever out in California, and the New York Auto Show. We do have a couple of upcoming events in June: the Detroit Grand Prix, the All Ford Nationals in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, the Mid-American Ford and Shelby event in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the Rocky Mountain Mustang Roundup in Steamboat Springs. Question that I'd like to ask you, and again I'd like you to respond to this. We have the opportunity to invite SVT dealers to work with us at these events. I think from some extent an efficiency perspective, if we're responsible for the display, the booth, having all the materials out there, the question that I'd pose to you is, what's your reaction if we were to invite SVT dealers to help man the booths or the displays. Let me put that question up there for you. Would your dealership like to have an individual participate in an SVT retail marketing event? Our goal here is to provide a better display. The goal is to have the ability to answer as many questions as possible from people that come through the displays. Some of them are fairly large in terms of turnout. Let me show you what the result is there. Overwhelmingly, there's interest in doing that. So I think what you'll see here shortly is that we're going to make a change to the way that we handle those programs and hopefully invite somebody from your store. Okay, our last piece here, Tim, I'm going to get you back in here. We have a couple of small clips from a upcoming episode that will appear on Motor Week. And Tim, you want to give us a little bit of background of this?
Bob, when we did the introduction of the Lightning at the Chicago Auto Show, I did a national, I guess, press or public reveal of Lightning on Saturday with the Motor Week staff. Motor Week is the public television program that's actually road test over a TV program, and it's very well received among the enthusiast public. And the staff of Motor Week mentioned to me at that event that they had just completed a test of the 98 Cobra and the 98 Camaro SS. And much to their surprise, the Cobra actually won a fairly clear, decisive, I guess, victory, if you will, in the performance area, much different than what they had expected. This program will air starting this weekend, but I wanted to just read you a quote from the script of that program to give you an idea of how this comparison is going to turn out. The quote says, and this is a typical quarter-mile acceleration run, "As the bell rings, the Mustang Cobra jumps out to an early lead in the acceleration round. The Ford launches cleanly and never looks back as the Camaro SS fights to hook up. Nailing second gear, the Mustang holds a slight advantage as it punches through 60 miles per hour in only 5.4 seconds. The Camaro SS is close behind at only 5.7 seconds and closes the gap as we near the quarter-mile post. But at the line, it's still the SVT Mustang Cobra by a jab, posting a 13.7 second time at 104 miles per hour. The Camaro SS was actually faster at 106 miles per hour, but not as quick, managing a 13.8 second run." Well, I think that is very interesting. I think your customers are going to find it to be very interesting. And as you'll see from the whole program, the Camaro and the SVT Mustang Cobra were very closely matched, and they did not call one as a winner over the other. But I think the fact that we won the quarter-mile acceleration run is clearly something, a point of pride for us. And Bob, I think you're going to talk a little bit more about how our SVT dealers can get an extra copy of that program.
Yes, I am, Tim, and if we can, we're going to go ahead and roll at least one short piece of footage that they sent in. This is not an actual drag race, but is one of our yellow Cobras on the track. So let's go ahead and do that.
Just in case there was any question, Bob, that they weren't driving the cars hard, I think this points out quite to the contrary.
Okay, we'll show you another piece of that in just a second, but just some information regarding that broadcast. It's referred to as Motor Week is the actual show. This is their on-track piece of the broadcast. It's the 98 Mustang Cobra versus the Camaro Z28 SS. Was shot down at Roebling Raceway, which is in Savannah, Georgia. Motor Week will begin to air this, or Motor Week will begin to air Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 9th of May. And depending on the way that your particular station handles the broadcast, it will either be this Saturday, sometime during the week, or as late as next Saturday. What you do want to do is check your local listings. Again, it is generally a PBS station that broadcasts this. And what we'll do is, once we've seen the final version, consider a copy of or tape copy being distributed to all the dealers. In the interim, if you do want to get a copy of this, you can write to Maryland Public Television or simply phone the number that's on there, 410-356-5600. The one thing that is critical is you want to make sure that you tell them that you want program 1735. We do have one other piece of tape from the session that they had at the track there, and we'll go ahead and show you that now as well.
So he makes it up to 132 miles an hour before the turn, Bob.
Yeah, yes, he did, Tim. And again, just so you have an idea, they do run the cars hard. They don't just do one pass on the quarter mile, and that's the end of it. Okay, what we're going to do now is I'm going to reintroduce our next guest. This is Dennis Marcus. Again, Dennis is with Mustang Vehicle Engineering. He is also with Ford. If you do have any questions regarding particularly Mustang or Mustang Cobra, now would be a good time to do that. Dennis, I'd like to welcome you. I know that this is not a normal part of your day, but thanks very much for taking the time and being with us here this morning.
I'm glad to be here, Bob.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to answering any questions I can.
Okay. I'm going to try and take another call here. This is David Reicher. David is from Beechmont Ford. David, can you hear us?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. What was your question?
Could you post again that phone number and address to get that public broadcast tape?
Yes, I can. I'll bring it up on the screen in just 1 second. It is Maryland Public Television, and you can see the address there, 11767 Owings Mills Boulevard in Owings Mills, Maryland. And you can see the phone number there. Anything else I can answer for you, David?
That's good.
Okay. I'm going to take another call here. This is Mark Kirkendall from Kaiser Ford again. Mark, can you hear us?
Yes.
Go ahead,
I
Mark.
know what other vehicles you have coming out in the SVT Contour line.
Other vehicles in the SVT Contour line? Well, what we'll do is we're going to go through the 99 program in just a couple of minutes here, and we'll give you all the details, including the information on the 99 SVT Contour. Let's try one more call here. This is Sean from Frontier Ford. Sean, can you hear us?
Can. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Sean.
This question's for Dennis. Dennis, is it possible to show us a picture of the 99 Mustang? Since I have a lot of questions from my customers, I think they know some changes are going to happen. Is it possible to see any picture of the 99 Mustang?
At this point, actually, it's not my responsibility to show you pictures of the 99 Mustang, but it's still too early in our program to be to give those details out. And Tim's going to talk about that a little later.
Sean, as much as we'd love to show you pictures of the 99 car, the unfortunate fact of the matter is in the past when we've given out information like that and way, way before the car comes out, it's had a habit of showing up in the magazines. And since we still have a good number of 1998 Cobras to sell, we're not going to show any pictures of the 99 right now. I will tell you, though, it's a really sharp-looking car, so I realize that's not the same as seeing a picture, but you're going to love it when you see it. Thanks for the question, Sean.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Try one more call, and then I have a couple of questions that I'd like to ask Dennis. This is Ken Haynes from Eastway Ford. Can you hear us, Ken?
Yes, our customers are showing some interest in the introduction of the 99 Lightning, SVT drivers now, Cobras, and is Ford thinking of any incentive to bring that Mustang owner out of his Mustang and putting it into the Lightning for $99?
I'm going to hand that off to Tim. Hold on just 1 second, and I'll switch over.
Ken, thanks for the question. The answer to your question is no, we're not thinking of that at this point, but certainly we've been getting a tremendous amount of interest at our SVT Customer Assistance Center from a whole variety of people. Current Lightning owners, people who owned Lightnings in the past and traded them away, Cobra owners, SVT Contour owners. Certainly the indications we have are that the vehicle is going to be a very strong seller when it comes out. And
reason code for your 10% or your special handling charge for that particular part.
Thanks, Ken. At this point, I'm going to pose a question to Dennis. One of the things that we hear quite frequently is at the info center are any number of calls from both dealer personnel, consumers, current owners, as well as prospects. One of the questions that we hear pretty regularly is, how is horsepower actually measured on an SVT vehicle? And where is it measured? Is it measured at the rear wheels? Is it measured at the flywheel? Dennis is somebody who I think can shed some light on that. And Dennis, I'll pose that question to you. How is it measured?
Actually, at Ford, we measure horsepower on all of our engines on an engine dynamometer, and we measure it at the flywheel. And we do it according to an SAE procedure. It's an SAE net procedure. Part of how that's done is, although it's just the engine, we also have the front-end accessory drive operating when that horsepower measurement's taken. Power steering pump, the alternator running at about 50% load, and other pulleys. The air conditioning compressor is also attached, but it's not running. It's just acting as a freewheeling pulley. The other thing that's also attached while that's happening is the exhaust system is, the engine's breathing through the exhaust system with the catalyst and the muffler. Anyway, that's how we do it, and our competitors also do it the same way.
Okay, thanks, Dennis. Question I'm going to pose to the dealerships. This next question is also something that comes up pretty regularly, and it concerns test drives of product at the assembly plants. Question that I'd like you to answer, if you would, is, are all SVT Mustang Cobras test driven at the assembly plant? Yes or no? I'd be kind of curious to understand what you believe the answer to that question is. Are they all test driven, or are they not all test driven? Sometimes I know that you will see a vehicle come into the dealership that has a sticker on the side window indicating that the car has 40 or 50 or 80 miles on it because it was chosen at random for some testing. And those I know are test driven, obviously, but let's see what the answers are. That pretty much 50-50 split. The belief is, well, pretty much even. Half of them believe that the cars are test driven, and half believe the cars are not test driven. Dennis, I'll once again pose that question to you. Are the cars test driven, or are they not test driven?
Okay, that's a good question. Right now, because of the quality concerns with the manual transmission on the Cobra, the T45, there's a short test drive done on all Cobras to verify the function and look for any issues with the transmission. While we're talking about the transmission story, there is some good news. There's been a recent change in the supplier of the transmission. It is currently supplied by Borg-Warner, but effective this month, Tremac will start supplying the transmission to Ford. And with that, we're expecting a significant improvement in quality and reliability, which should really help. And maybe down the road, we won't need to do the test drive. It's about a short 4-mile test drive.
Dennis, Tremac is the organization that does the transmissions, or has in the past done some Ford pickup transmissions, and they also did the transmission in the Cobra R back in 95.5, so that's a good sign, isn't it?
Good, yes it is.
Now, I also want to mention, I alluded to at the beginning of the meeting some of the future improvements we're making in the whole SVT program. Right now, the SVT Contour undergoes a very extensive check at the end of the assembly line that's unique to the SVT Contour at Kansas City Assembly. We originally did that with the Cobra as well back in '93, and starting in 1999, we're going to reinstate that full, special, unique SVT Cobra inspection at the end of the line at Dearborn Assembly Plant, which I think is going to further help the quality of the Cobras coming to your dealership. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thanks, Tim. Another question that I know we get quite frequently, almost regularly at the
Freshman on freshman. The city kid was defended very well by El Amin, 3 to shoot.
Well, El Amin that time took it as a challenge on the clear out, knowing the shot clock was running down, and Griffin, a great penetrator.
Crash safety tests with the bar gone. We had to be able to demonstrate that to government. So when all those pieces came together, the bar came out, and in fact, the front end structure of the car is just as sound without it.
Well, I appreciate the explanation, Dennis. I hope that everybody is comfortable with that and understands why the bar's been removed and why it happened in 1998 as opposed to 96 or 97. Let's try and take a call here. This is Tony Roberts from Joe Sartain Ford. Tony, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
The question is on the Tremac being the supplier for the Cobra. Is that included on the GT also?
Dennis, did you hear that? I'm going to switch over to you. The question was the Tremac transmission that is going to be included in the Cobra. Will that also go into the GT?
Actually, I need to check on that. I'm not sure if it's a T45 transfer. I think the answer is yes, but if it's not yes, I'll make sure someone gets back to you.
Tony, I've got your name and the dealership. Either Dennis or I will give you a call back, if not by the end of the day tomorrow. And again, I appreciate the call, Tony. Let's try another call. This is Phil Marini from McCarville Ford. No, I think that's Phil Morin from McCarville Ford. How are you, Phil?
Back to the Schimmel bar story. With the removal of the Schimmel bar, why didn't they change the air inlet tube that feeds the twin throttle bodies, remove the dent in it? There's been a lot of aftermarket tuners that have picked up an easy 10 to 12 horsepower by doing so.
Can take a look at that.
Phil, I'm going to have to get back to you on that one. That's a good question. I don't know the answer. I'll get back to you on that one.
That's the best thing to say.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah.
In the past, the dent was there for clearance for the Schimmel bar, but now that that's not there, why don't they open it up so we can allow the maximum air intake?
Yeah, that's a good question, Phil. I think for the 99 car, you'll see that change being made, but as to why it wasn't done earlier, I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay. Anything else, Phil?
How do I apply for Tim's job?
1-800 Ford SVT, right? Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Try one more call here. This is Rob from Advantage Ford. Rob, can you hear us?
I'm here.
Go ahead with your question.
Again, on the Schimmel bar, I'm a little concerned with long-term structural integrity. I know experiences where you don't have it in, the car drives fine. 3 years down the road, you get a little loosey-goosey if you're driving it hard.
Anything that you can...
Yeah, I can answer that question, Rob. We did run the car at full durability. We've got a very extensive durability test that we do, and we re-ran durability without the Schimmel bar. So we're pretty confident that we don't have a structure problem.
Okay.
Okay, so for the customers themselves, it's not a long-term thing, that it would be stronger if they put the bar in now, 10 years down the road, it maintains the integrity of the car any better than if it were not there?
It, with the bar removed and with the number 2 cross member that we put in the car in 1996, it serves the same purpose. There is no degradation in long-term durability or structure with the bar removed. That's what our durability tests tell us.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Thanks, David. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the final portion, just looking at the clock here of the broadcast. I know a lot of you tuned in because you're interested in the 1999 program. We're going to walk you through a number of items now, and Tim and I are both going to provide you with the details to the program. With that, we're going to talk about vehicle allocation for 1999 models, the program cost, what kind of training is going to be offered, and then also give you some more details regarding the 99 products. Let's talk about the program cost. Once again, and for 1999, program cost will be based on physical planning volume, size of the dealership, and subsequently the number of units that are allocated. We have small, medium, and large dealers based on planning volumes that you see on the screen of 1 to 250, 251 to 1,000, and 1,001. And you can see what the annual program cost will be, $4,150, $5,400, or $7,900, depending on the size of the store. The billing for the 99 model year program would not occur until February of 1999. In terms of allocations, there are 3 vehicle lines, Mustang Cobra, Contour, and Lightning, which everybody will receive allocations of. And of course, in Cobra, there will be both a coupe and a convertible. And again, depending on whether you're a small, medium, or large dealer, you can see what the total number of allocations, units allocated would be. Small stores would receive a total of 10, medium 18, and large stores a total of 30 units. In terms of the program cost on a unit basis, again, you can see this is how the prices have trended since 1997. Small, medium, and large. In general, the program costs have decreased over time on a per unit basis. I'm going to go ahead and take a call here. This is Paul from Duffler Ford. Paul, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Last meeting, there was some discussion with one of the engineers about aftermarket products being added to engines and Ford warranty or lack thereof, as the case may be. I was just wondering if any of you guys had any further information you could share with us or anything of that nature.
I guess I'd ask you to elaborate a little on the question. One of the thoughts that we tried to leave everybody with at the end of that broadcast was simply to make sure that your customers understood what the consequences or the risks were associated with putting, say, nitrous or a supercharger or some other significant aftermarket component on a vehicle. I think the thing that they were trying to point out in that broadcast was specifically, if somebody has major internal engine damage on a vehicle that's had a supercharger installed or nitrous installed, that is not necessarily covered under warranty. On the other hand, if it was some other component that would not be in any way be related to that aftermarket installation, there really shouldn't be an issue there. I'm not sure if that answers your question. Does it, Paul?
In a way, basically you never come out and state that if you put a supercharger or something and an internal goes, we're not participating. I guess I just read between the lines well enough to understand that anytime you're messing with a supercharger or nitrous and something goes, Ford is most likely not going to participate.
I'd say that's probably a good interpretation of the facts. I do know that if you look in the Ford Motorsport catalog, they are fairly specific in identifying that the installation of some of their components can have an impact on warranty, that their parts are not warranted, and so forth. I'm looking at the clock, and just in an effort to save time, I will be back in the office this afternoon, and I can be reached at the 1-800-FORD SVT line. If you ask for me, they'll transfer the call over, and I'll be happy to give you some more details. Again, I know we need to get through the details of the 99 program. But if you want to give me a call, Paul, that'd be fine.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Let's go back to some more of the details of the program. As we showed you, the program cost on a per unit basis. There will be training associated with the 1999 program. There will be a two-day training program. It will be held in February, and it will be in Las Vegas. The 2 days, day one will be a classroom event. We'll be staying at the Luxor Hotel, and that is also where the classroom training will be. In addition, the second day will be a drive day, and that'll be conducted at the new Las Vegas Speedway. All of the driving events are expected to take place at the Speedway. And similar to what we have done in prior years, the goal is obviously to give you the opportunity to drive all the SVT products, as well as some competitive vehicles that you can draw similarities and differences from. Okay, another couple of things worth pointing out. These are some changes that have been implemented with the 1999 program. First, we will have something referred to as a free demand alternative for Contour. Tim, I don't know if you want to expand on that at all?
Sure. Those of you, you noticed from the earlier slide that the SVT Contour allocations are very small next year. Basically, the free demand alternative gives you an opportunity to raise your hand and say, yeah, I'd like more than I can have been allocated, or no, I don't want as many. And so what you need to do when you fill out your enrollment form is just put down the number of SVT Contours you actually want in your dealership for the 1999 model year. And then we'll go back and we'll tally up all the individual free demand requests, and if they add up to the total production, then we'll go ahead and honor them. If for some reason it doesn't, then we'll go back to the original allocations, which were 1, 2, or 3, depending on your dealership size. So we're giving you some flexibility on the SVT Contour allocations, but overall, you can also see that the SVT Contour allocations are very small next year compared to what they were in 1997 and 1998. We hope to match free demand with production a little bit more closely than we did this year.
Thanks, Tim. A couple of other items. There will be an option to step up to a larger group. For the small or medium-sized dealers, and there are some out there that do an exceptional job with the SVT program, they're going to have the opportunity to step up to the large group allocation and, of course, the expense that goes along with it. There'll be more details in the packet that gets mailed out. Another thing that we will be asking for is the identification of an SVT service leader. As we get more and more SVT vehicles out into the hands of the public, the opportunity exists for us to deal more with the service departments in addition to sales. We'd simply like to know who the appropriate person is to deal with at the store. SVT signage will be available for the first time, and I know, Tim, you wanted to make a couple of comments about that.
Yeah, this is one of the big improvements in the SVT program. Starting next year, you will find an order form in your enrollment kit that basically lets you buy Ford design signage for the SVT program that you can put in your existing sign boxes out by the street, or if you want new sign boxes, you can do that. I urge you to check out that piece of information. The prices are extraordinarily reasonable. There's a number of different ways to do it to meet your local zoning requirements. We're not going to require you to order it this year, but we'd like to have you take a very serious look at it and consider adding that signage at your dealership.
Thanks, Tim. We're going to go ahead and try and take another call. This is Norm from Hoffman Ford Sales. Norm, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Your question.
Question goes back to the comment made about the Tremec transmission.
Yes.
But this transmission will be a direct bolt-on to the 96, 97, 98s that we've already sold and assured these people that the T45.
Dennis, I'm going to let you go ahead and answer that.
The answer to that question is yes. The Tremec transmission is completely transparent with the Ford Warner in terms of fit and function to the 4.64 valve engine. So yeah, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Norm. We're going to go ahead and take another call. This is David from Beachmont Ford. David?
From time to time, I've called SVT headquarters requesting some assistance on local programs. I never get any callbacks. I'm always told, well, we'll let you know. Who should I talk to get some support on some local car shows?
If you'd like, you can call me directly, David.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Just from a background perspective, we do provide, be it posters or technical data cards, SVT bags, plastic bags, any number of materials. We usually don't have an abundance, say, of sales brochures, but if you have an event that's being conducted at your store, a club that you have an affiliation with, by all means, give us a call. If I'm not in the office, I would ask that you speak with either Susan Dowd, D-O-W-D, or Chris Jackson. Either of those two folks can fulfill the request. And if you don't hear back from somebody, just please give me a call directly. Let's try one other call. This is Joe from Hansel Ford. Joe, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Thank you. Two questions. One, I'm interested in if we have any aftermarket programs. For example, where we can have a customer say, I want to add an extra 50 horsepower, another 75, 100, or 150. These are programs that you guys sanction as opposed to going through the car magazines. I've done this in the past, but I'm getting, basically Buck magazine information.
Sure.
And the second question is, 5.4 motor for 99?
I'm going to let Tim answer both of those. I know that there's been interest on SVT's part in both of them. Tim, you want to?
Yeah, Joe, if you're calling from Hansel Ford out there in Santa Rosa, California, hello. I've been in your dealership a number of times over the years, and it's a great place to work and sell cars. Joe, SVO, the parent organization for SVT, is very interested in developing the aftermarket parts business for SVT customers. Starting next year, we're actually going to offer some SVT parts in the SVO Performance Parts catalog. Won't be a real ambitious program to begin with, but we're going to at least get our feet wet. Longer term, we would like to look at developing packages of parts. The director of SVO, a gentleman named Dan Davis, is very interested in this, and it's not just powertrain, but it could be suspension and other things as well. Those aftermarket parts projects, though, would still not be factory warranted, or not. They would have the same impact on the factory warranty as any other aftermarket installed piece. And the reason for that is very simple. Our engineers spend tremendous amounts of time making sure that these products live up to the Ford durability standards with the levels of power and the suspension pieces they have in them right now. And you just can't expect that a product is going to be able to go out and perform with that same level of durability when you make major changes in the engine, like adding 50 or 100 horsepower. It just simply isn't going to happen. And that's why we do not warranty engines that were damaged by aftermarket parts. But to go back to your original question, yes, we are for the long term looking at putting together packages of parts that could be used to take an SVT product to the next level for somebody who wants to do that and is willing to live with the warranty implications. So good question.
Thanks, Joe. I'm going to go back to a couple of slides here and walk through the rest of these changes, and then we'd like to walk you through the 99 vehicle changes. In addition to the signage, we will have a new Fordstar technician course. We expect to be able to add that this summer. The last couple of changes, we are going to encourage that the dealerships become involved in some type of a performance event, perhaps associated with one of the car clubs or a special event at the store. There will also be some information regarding the encouragement of providing a loaner car because of the unique nature of SVT customers. This is not an SVT vehicle as the loaner car, but simply a loaner car. And then also, something some of you may have seen previously, there will be a 3-year wait to re-enroll in SVT. If a store makes a decision not to enroll in the program, which is their prerogative, no doubt, there will be a 3-year wait to re-enroll. Let's take a quick look at some of the vehicle information. For the 1999 SVT Mustang Cobra, as Tim mentioned earlier, there will be new sheet metal. We'll continue to have a unique hood, fascia, and wheels. In addition, I guess in answering a question of Joe, the 99 vehicle will have a 4.6 liter motor, not a 5.4 liter. We'll continue to have a 5-speed manual transmission, as you heard from Dennis earlier. There will be some major revisions to the rear suspension, the addition of traction control, and in addition, the driver and passenger seats, as well as the seat tracks, will be modified quite significantly and beneficially on the vehicle. Exterior colors, we'll be switching back to Rio Red, continue to offer black and white, and at this point, a new color, electric green, is being considered. Again, the revised seats and tracks, and from an interior standpoint, there'll be a couple minor changes, midnight black and medium parchment. Tim, is there anything that you want to add to that?
Only to say that, first of all, we didn't quote a specific horsepower figure for the engine because the engineers are not done with their final tuning, but there will be a power increase. It's not going to be a large power increase, but it will be a power increase, and it will translate into slightly quicker quarter-mile times. The second thing I want to say is that the sum of all these changes ends up being what is in many ways almost perceived as an all-new vehicle. There'll be a much more comfortable driving position. The seats will go back farther. There's 6-way power driver's seats. There's a much sharper turning diameter. The rear suspension changes we're making make major changes in how the overall vehicle dynamics work. They impact the steering, the braking. The whole car really is going to go up several notches in terms of its overall functionality in the marketplace, not to mention the new styling, which will be very well received. So it's a major change. As a matter of fact, I would have to say it's probably the biggest change in the Cobra since the program started.
Thanks, Tim. One other slide on Cobra. From a production standpoint, you can see what some of the numbers are. Keep in mind that Job 1, as of today, is not slated to be until January of 1999. Taking a quick look at Contour for 1998, there will be a couple of changes to the vehicle. The 2.5 liter will be bumped up to 200 horsepower, and there'll be a new high-performance tire associated with the car. In terms of colors, we'll have all the existing colors, but we'll be adding an Amazon green, which is actually very similar, not identical to a British racing green, but real close. I've seen the car in that color. In addition, we'll be offering a second interior color, a saddle. So the black and silver vehicles will still be offered with midnight blue. The red, the green, and black will also have the saddle option. From a production standpoint, you can see the number. That car has a job one date in August, actually September 1998, and the production is scheduled to be split. We'll run through the end of January. There'll be some downtime for some modifications, and then we'll be back with production in May. The reason I have that there is because on the enrollment forms, you'll be asked when you would like to see the vehicles. Just because we're running out of time, lastly, the Lightning we've discussed in some detail over the last couple of broadcasts, but as you can see, it'll be from the picture, regular cab, flare side, supercharged 5.4 liter with a single overhead cam motor, automatic transmission, will be lowered, have unique 5-spoke wheels, and you can see they'll be very large, also an extremely large tire, 295/45 18s. 3 colors, a red, a black, and a white. 1 interior, medium graphite, Harris suede cloth with some leather inserts. And production for this is 3850 with job 1 slated for March. I'm going to try and take a couple of questions here if I can before we run out of time. This is Larry at Lamar Sloan Ford. Larry, can you hear us?
Ken, you've answered my question. I was wondering what the count was going to be on the different body lines.
Okay. Well, let's try. This is John Jarnigan from Jarnigan Ford. How are you, John?
Bob, and yourself, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you?
Bob, hello, and hello, Tim. Congratulations on your promotion, Tim. But we're going to miss you, but we're not going to let you go till we get a commitment on the R model. Thanks, thanks a lot.
There you go, Tim.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, John. I can't give you a commitment on the R model. I mentioned the meeting we had with the SVT stakeholders on Monday. We did drive a prototype of that vehicle at that meeting. I'll be quite candid with you, John. There's some major engineering issues that we still have to get our arms around, and at this point, it's by no means a go program. Certainly, there's a great deal of interest in wanting to be able to do it, but we're not going to do it unless it can meet all the Ford standards. So I have to take a pass on that one and say just stay tuned. I will tell you that if we did the program, it would probably be right at the very tail end of the 1999 model year. So there will not be any information in the enrollment kit about it because it's not a firm program at this point. But everybody is very excited about the potential of it, and if we can work out some of the engineering issues, you know, wait and see what happens. And thanks, John.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, John. Let's try one more call here. This is Gordon from Stetson Ford. Gordon, can you hear us?
Yes, again, Bob. My question to you, or to Tim maybe, since he's leaving, we're going to really miss him. What kind of horsepower is going to, on the Lightning truck? How soon are we going to be able to order?
I'll switch over to Tim. Go ahead.
Okay. We have not quoted a public figure on the horsepower of the Lightning truck, but I will tell you it will be more than 325 horsepower. That's an internal goal. When you see the final horsepower and torque numbers, I think you will be amazed, to be quite candid. We were also driving this vehicle, our SVT stakeholder meeting on Monday. It's gone through quite a number of refinements over the last year since our management group last drove the vehicle, and it's turning out outstanding. The other question was, Bob, what was the other question?
When they could start to order.
Okay, and yeah, why don't you take that?
Gordon, with a job one date in March of '99, generally we would expect to have the ordering system activated and ordering guides to you at least 60 to 90 days prior to that. I would expect that you'd see the ordering guides at the dealership around December, and that the ordering system would be open to accept Lightning orders right around the first of the year, probably as we came back from the holidays. Hope that answers your question. Thanks, Gordon. I see we have run out of time. I'd just like to thank all of you for taking the time to participate in the broadcast. We had a real good turnout once again today. Tim, take the opportunity to congratulate you and best of luck in your new assignment. Dennis, thanks very much for being with us here today. If you do have a question that has not been answered, if you want to give myself or any of the folks a call at the info center, please do. The 99 packets will be distributed shortly, probably within the next week or so. If you have any questions, give us a call about them. Look forward to seeing you on our next broadcast. We are tentatively scheduled for July 10th. Thanks very much.